think I can do it. Hello and welcome to this video. After what has been a very frosty week, we dipped down to -3s and -2s, averaging 0 for the last week. Frosty days in the morning. Today has been the perfect, what feels like spring day, although it's super frosty and very chilly still in the air. The last sunshine day with blue skies for what looks like it's going to be 2 weeks of rain. The rain is certainly welcome because we've had a relatively dry winter so far. Usually, if memory serves, we usually get the most rain from January through March, and I remember March always being super wet months and even hail and a little bit of cold. So I am hopeful that we will still see some rain or a lot of water coming down to feed all the water systems for us. Last year we had an incredibly wet winter and wet spring, and which caused me not to be able to harvest my grapes because there was just too much water, and it made the grapes unharvestable, but the olives did really well. So this year we shall see if we will have a wet next couple of months and a wet spring as well. The well has been slowly filling up little by little every time that it's been raining, but even so it is nowhere near the levels that it usually is. But again, I expect that to only reach those levels end of March. January this month is pruning month, and all of the vineyard and the olive trees and the fruit trees will require some pruning, which means lots and lots of work when it's not raining. It's been a pretty cold winter for sure, but again not as cold as previous winters that I remember. Even Christmas Day last year, 2024, was relatively mild and not as cold as the year before. But I have already worked through almost 3 cubic meters. Well, I did work through 3 cubic meters of my wood delivery, and today I needed to get some more wood delivered to see me through the bottom end of winter. Grass is nice and green. My animals can graze. In this week's video, I mend some farm fences, also change my water filters and UV light, and also continue with the bottom corner cupboards to complete that section. Hello and welcome. I'm Christine, an expat originally from South Africa. I moved to Portugal in October of 21, and I started my journey in search of my forever farm in Portugal. I saw over 30 properties, and it took me about 6 months of searching, but then I finally found the one. This is my adventure as a solo expat on a farm in Central Portugal with my 2 fur kids, Shakti and Shiva. I've never owned or lived on a farm, but I moved to Portugal in the hope of fulfilling a lifelong dream in finding an open space, subsistence farming, and a safer, better life. Now that we have found our farm, the second stage of our journey begins. I have to figure out farm life while renovating an agricultural structure to make it habitable and turn it into a comfortable home for me and my fur kids. Follow along our journey. This is Girl Meets Farm. My neighbor's dogs have been finding ways to breach my fences, so I've needed to learn how to mend and strengthen them. I have a bit of a bejeweled fence now. Could it be better? Sure. Could it be worse? Absolutely. You know what? I think this will hold. It's not ideal that obviously that top section doesn't have anything to hold to, and the rest of my fences aren't always this high. I'll definitely need to invest maybe in some more poles and get all the sections that are less than 2 meters up to 2 meters. And I only had one scrape. Amazing. Thankfully, I've had a tetanus shot recently. I should be okay. This video is sponsored by Vevor. With January being pruning month, I was quite happy with this week's sponsor reaching out to me and offering me a pole pruning saw to test with all of my pruning that needs doing. And it is a cute little device from a company called Vevor. So it comes with a whole kit. The little pruning saw, the extension pole, goggles, oil for the saw, and even some gloves. And this little pruning saw works battery operated, and you even get that. So it comes with a battery and the battery charger as well, which I'm currently charging up. Vevor have tough tools at half the price, and they have a whole range of other tools in offer. And as most of you guys know, I have focused a lot of my attention on the inside of my structure and have not really spent a lot of time buying tools for the agricultural side of things. So this tool will come in really handy. It comes on a pole, but when you clip it off, it can also be used as a hand tool. I don't have the battery on at the moment, but the nice thing is that the battery can move between the pole and the little handheld device to make things a lot easier to prune right next to you in close proximity. So far it feels really durable, it feels really good. And as I mentioned, they pride themselves in having tough tools at half the price. So I'll be using this little pruning saw for a lot of my pruning duties, including pruning some of these hedges so that I can continue with strengthening my fencing. Thank you, Vevor. If you're looking for a tool to help you in your garden and you don't want to spend lots of money on buying big industrial brand tools that cost a lot more, going to Vevor and buying a tool for a season or more could be the way to go. Check the link in the description for my discount code to further discount already discounted prices from Vevor. Tough tools, half the price. Yeah, this is gonna be a beast. I hope I can do this by myself. I've mostly been able to move everything back in my game of furniture Tetris. And this is obviously temporary, and if you're wondering why I decided to keep the cardboard, it is so that when I do put the feet on that cupboard, it has something to lie on so that it doesn't damage in the process. So I like to keep things on the cardboard, and as big a piece of cardboard as possible so that I can flip it and put the feet on when I have a second pair of hands to help me lift that onto the feet, because they break really easily. In this corner, I may need to cut this cupboard when we do the install, because my water pipes are there. This will be as flush as possible into this corner here, and what that will eventually look like is there will be a piece of counter on the front section. Only half of the cupboard will get a piece of counter like this. The other side is actually going to be open, and I'm going to do what I think is 2 layers of building cupboard boxes, and I think they may have 2 separate doors or 1 door. I'm actually not 100% sure what eventually came. But those cupboard doors will obviously be built higher so that they can open over the front section of the counter. If I use a full counter, that is also a possibility, but then I will need to cut the cupboards, because my second cupboard will not be equal height to that one if I did it that way. But I'm going to build the cupboards, I'm going to see what it looks like, and then I'm going to make the decision after that. But that is kind of the idea. And in theory, that cupboard should just fit in there once I have this bottom cupboard in the correct position. And I just need to wiggle it past that plug. Theory. That should just slide on in there, and then there's going to be another one of these on top here. They're gonna have 2 separate cupboards. I don't actually know why I didn't just get one long cupboard, but anyway. Yeah, so I want a bottom here. That bottom is cut away for the pipes to the cylinder, and those should all be fine. I shouldn't need to make further adjustments there. This will then be the top for this lower cupboard here, so only the section in front here would need, in theory, the counter. How I'm gonna fit this to this bottom cupboard, I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe from the bottom up through that bracket, I guess, and can go top down through the wood. And then of course I do have the silver brackets attached, so this can be connected directly to the wall. Yeah, that's the theory. You can see I haven't been this way in a while, but I think I need to cut this peach tree anyway. I have to brave this area, I also have to clean this area, but anyway, I have to come to my pump house because it's time to change those filters out. Exoskeleton. The real one's probably in there. Anyway. First things first. Right. Woo! Yeah. This is the water system. Currently I have 2 filters, water filters in here, and then of course the UV sterilization light over there, which also needs to be replaced. But today I'm going to be replacing the filters, which I actually need to replace every 6 months. But I haven't done that. But I will be doing that, I think, every 6 months moving forward for sure, because I can actually feel that the water has become a lot harder in the last couple of months. So I definitely need to do that every 6 months. But the UV light only needs to be changed every year. And this was installed at the end of December last year. So it's time. It's time to refresh everything. So more about this system in a link below. First things first, all still holding up really well. Let's put the pump off. Let's close the tap on the line. There we go. Here we go. Let's see if I can take this off. Righty tighty. It's loosey, right? Oh shit. Oh. Tighten this too well. I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's maybe harder. Sure. And also I just realized.
Oh, we have to connect the small ones to it.
Yeah. The wall is so bendy. We actually have an issue with the one cupboard that I did cut. I didn't realize that it was. Let's try. Gert came over to help me with installing the corner kitchen cupboards. We were debating the spacing and the sizing for a very long time. Unfortunately, it turned out that we needed to move the geyser, which meant that we had to untap all the water and move the geyser to a different position to make all the cupboards fit. No, it's the plug. So you just have to like maneuver it past here. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently move this. Okay. It's that wall. I didn't realize.
No, I never come to here. You need this bit. You will never have it. It has to go off the wall. You have to reattach. You have to reattach it anyway. That's good. That's smart. If it falls, it will break your entire cabinet.
I think you can make that work. Things moved really fast after moving the geyser, and it got really tricky to get everything together and hold the cupboards and position them and balance them and all of those things. So unfortunately I didn't get all of that on camera. Kat has just left. And we've managed to put the corner bottom cupboards together, and I'm really, really stoked. This was a little bit more tricky than we expected because, well, the wall wasn't straight, of course, so it meant that the original position for these two cabinets didn't work. And we had to move the geyser, the hot water cylinder, a little bit over to the right, more central aligned to the new position of the cupboards, so that these top cupboards could fit. But why that was also good was because we managed to put better bolts on the hot water cylinder as well. That is a little bit more secure. So I'm happy with that. But I'm so excited for this corner cupboard. It is, I know it's ridiculous, but finally I can pack some stuff away and yeah, clean some stuff up and just make things a little bit more tidier on this end. I need to still do the fridge section, but I first need to figure out what exactly that's going to look like. I do have the cupboards for it, but I think it's just a panel and a top little cupboard that will go over it, but I just need to take a look at that. Anyway, so now, happy days. Oh, Had also came up with a really brilliant idea for me to like run my gas line from my oven all the way behind my cupboards and just keep my butane here. I had this space anyway, so I can build a little cupboard over this, or maybe find one at IKEA that possibly works at that size. Yeah, so now at least, even if this is temporary, then I can keep my gas inside, which is amazing, which also means now my oven is fully functional. Yay! The gas works, the oven works. Yay! We have a pretty much functioning kitchen now. I just need to clean everything up now and move all of my Tetris musical furniture thing back into a place where, well, a little bit neater. And yeah, put the cupboards. I'm so stoked. So stoked. Gert had helped me remove my old water filters because I couldn't open the filter holders. They were closed too tightly. But yeah, so these are the old ones. They were in there for a year. This is definitely all rust for sure. I know there's a lot of rust in my water. And I know there's a lot of iron in my water, I should say. So I will probably add 1 or 2 more filters on the existing 2 lines that I have. So or 2 filter lines I meant, sediment and carbon. So I'll add another iron filter, iron manganese filter as well at some point. But yeah, so at least my new filters are in. I just need to change my UV light. This is super tricky because it doesn't align 100%, and of course UV glass is ridiculously fragile, and you have to wear these so that you don't get your skin oil on the glass. So I'm actually going to use the camera tripod to support it from the outside. And I'm going to try and pull it in from the inside. This is the old light. The part that I took out in the beginning is this side, and it's pretty clear until you get here. Then you can see there's definitely some buildup there. It looks like some kind of calcium buildup that is sitting on the outside, but of course that is a good indication that the light definitely needs to be replaced. This is going to be very fiddly. I'm sorry I can't show you closer. There is a one of these thingies that needs to attach to the light. It also has 4 prongs on the light, and the tricky bit is trying to get this connected in that very small space. Okay, let's plug it in and see if this is working. I'll keep the water off for now, of course. Yep. I'm not going to pull it out because that is pretty bad for one's eyes, but you can see the UV light is on. Amazing. Alright, that is back on. That is replaced. I'm going to bring some cable ties to try and keep the ballast or whatever that thing's called up there. Technically one should keep it away from water. Alright, let's put the water pressure on and the water. There we go. Nothing happening is a good sign.